I think, no, I take that back. I know my most favorite thing about You Just Have to Laugh, not just that it's funny and not that it helps people get through life's most difficult times, but these are real people. And the reason I'm kind of chuckling, it doesn't get any more real than Audrey, who is 100 years old, who you're about to meet, Rosalie, 97 years old, and Jean, 85 years old. She calls herself the dirty old broad and goes and does jokes for senior citizens home. Now, Rosalie, who's 97 years old, is going to tell you what it's like to go through Prohibition and the fun they had during that. And Audrey is going to tell you what it's like to live 100 years and how humor and laughter has helped her get through the whole thing, even being 100 years old. These women are funny, and their humor is magnificent. And get ready, because they are going to charm your heart.
I go out to senior groups and other groups' banquets and things, and I do a little dirty old broad act. I talk about my husband and my boyfriends and what it's like to get old.
I will be at 100 in August.
What's the secret?
Working hard.
Really?
I worked hard all my life. I used to cut my grass. I did my all my housework. I never had a maid in my life, never.
How many kids did you raise?
4.
Now the hard question.
What?
How much you weigh?
I
No,
weigh,
you don't have to answer. I just kidding. Yeah.
I weigh 100 and...
Well, I had a man knocking on my door last night. He just knocked and bang, bang, bang. He just wouldn't quit. He was just knocking and bang, bang, bang. Finally, I got up and let him out.
Laughing is very, very important.
Why?
Well, just brings your spirit up.
And I had a boyfriend with saloon arthritis.
Yeah.
Every night he got stiff in another joint.
It's a different generation now, because when you were growing up, when you're in your teenage years, you worked.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't out playing or,
No,
going
we
on
worked.
cruises with your family every 2
No,
vacations.
we all worked.
You know you're getting old when the bank sends you a free calendar, 1 page at a time.
Today, you find kids 18, 19, 20, they don't even work.
You know you're getting old when they've discontinued your blood type.
Well, I had 4 hours of sewing
Right.
and 2 hours of
Cooking, I think you said.
cooking,
So-
and 1 hour of English and math, whatever they had. That's
Sure.
all. These kids don't know what we went through. We used to wash on the board. We washed them, and we had great big tubs. We put them on the stove and boil the clothes, and then we wash them again, rinse them out, and hang them up.
Well, your second childhood, you now have a walker instead of a baby carriage.
Yeah.
You have to go to the bathroom more often.
I worked on training eggplant, breaking eggs, separating eggs. I think most of my family worked there. My brother.
You did what now? You broke eggs?
We separate the eggs,
The yolk and the
the
white?
yolks
Yeah.
and the whites, and we smell them to see if they were rotten or musty or bloody, and we put them in buckets that went around. They had buckets all around there.
Your job was smelling eggs?
Yeah, we had to smell them.
Can you imagine? Could you imagine today telling a kid you got to go smell eggs?
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
but you did it.
Yeah.
Because you had to work
yeah,
to help support your family.
yeah. Not just me. Some of my family worked there too.
You have to go down the stairs 1 step at a time.
Yes. But yet you're laughing about it. You
Oh,
don't.
sure, that's funny.
It doesn't bother you that.
Well, originally I was a little annoyed, and it's very frustrating, but it's still funny.
We had 2 bedrooms with 10 kids. They had a hall between us. 4 boys. They had 2 beds in one room and 2 beds in each room. And the 2 oldest boys, they slept 2 in each bed, and the other one with 3 in each bed, which was us 3 girls. We were 3 girls and 3 younger boys. We had a belly stove, and nobody wanted to go up there to light the stove and warm up the room. But once we got it warm, my brothers from the other room come in there. We were 10 of us around that little belly stove, and we would tell jokes, and we'd say, when I get older, I'm going to work on buy my mother a refrigerator. I was one that bought her the first refrigerator.
Were you?
And I'm going to buy my mother an electric stove and all that stuff. They were all talking.
So you guys were a really tight family.
Yeah, we had fun.
I used to go skinny dipping. Now
Yeah.
I go chunky dunking.
You go what?
Chunky dunking.
I can't do the things that I used to do. I can't dance anymore.
Would you like to dance?
Oh, I love to dance.
Could you dance?
Oh, yes.
What was your favorite?
I love to do a Latino mostly.
Now, did you do that by yourself or with
No, with my husband.
Oddly enough, I have never been skinny dipping. It's one of the regrets in my life that I've never been skinny dipping.
Is that right?
You know,
Are you ever going to nail that on your bucket list?
well, I don't know. I have to pay people to look at me naked now, so
When did your husband die? How old was he when he died?
He was 81,
81. So you've been a widow now for
20 years.
20 years.
Yep.
Any men on the horizon? Anybody courting you, calling you, wanting to go out?
I'd been there and done that. I wasn't interested.
Can we talk about the bootlegging?
Oh, yeah. I remember we used to make beer, we made whiskey, and we made wine.
Yeah.
And I remember corking the beer with my brother.
How old were you?
I was just a little kid, but I remember.
Was that during Prohibition?
That it was against the law, yeah.
It was against the law, yeah.
But you know what? There was no jobs in those days. They used to have the private policemen. They used to pay them to keep their mouths shut. Yeah, they did. They were in my mother's kitchen. My mother used to make bread every day.
Yeah.
She made pizza, bread, pasta.
Yeah.
And while she's making that bread, the policemen were in our kitchen eating her bread and butter and everything she made. I remember one time my mother got all us kids and she opened the window and made us all jump out the window. It was a low window. She said, "You go over your godmother across the street."
Because the police were coming in?
Yeah, because they were in the front trying to come in.
just when you thought the world was safe, the dirty old broad is back. It costs a lot of money to look this cheap.
You just weren't interested.
I didn't, just wasn't interested. I was having too much fun without it.
If I summed up my husband in 2 words, I would say short and cheap. His finest hour was a minute and a half.
And you didn't want to have a man with you just dragging you down.
Absolutely.
My boyfriend's like the tires on my car, bald, unbalanced, and full of hot air.
No, I live with my son and
That's right, you
daughter-in-law,
said
but
that,
I
I'm
do
sorry.
my own
But
laundry.
you still do your own laundry,
And I still do a little of the cooking.
do you?
And I just stopped driving about 3 months ago
Why?
because I felt I was not a safe driver anymore.
But you were driving when you were 99 years old.
Yes, I still have a driver's license. It will expire when I'm 102.
My dad used to used to buy 100 cases of grapes every year and make 4 barrels of wine. We had it upstairs. We had 4 barrels, and he told me to go up there and get a bottle of wine. And I couldn't start. You know those holes you start it and put it in there. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
to siphon it, right.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to put. I couldn't start it. I swallow it, and he would say, "Rosalie, what are you doing with that wine?" And he says, "I would come down staggering down the steps."
I had my boyfriend over for dinner the other night, and I cooked him a really nice dinner. And I said to him, "You know, I'm known for my roast beef and my apple pie." He said, "Which one is this?"
When does your passport expire?
I'll be 108.
I came from kind of a funny family. We always liked to one-up each
How
other.
do you feel now?
I feel pretty good.
Do you?
I'm in pretty good health.
There's a grave near the White House where the unknown soldier lies, and flowers there are sprinkled with the tears from others' eyes. I stood there not so long ago with flowers for the brave, when suddenly I thought I heard a voice speaking from the grave. "I am the unknown soldier," the hero's voice began, "and I think I have the right to ask some questions, man to man. Were my buddies taken care of? Where's that victory so sweet? Where's that big reward they promise, selling pencils in the street?"
I was born handicapped. My arm was born handicapped, and you have to learn to get along because when you're in school, the kids aren't very nice.
When you say handicapped, did you just not have any use of it?
I don't have much use of it. I can only lift it like
Okay.
that.
So you were made fun of as a girl.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And even when you get older, there's people that don't want to touch you for fear you're catching.
Sure.
And if they caught something from me, I would hope it would be something different.
And as I strolled away, I heard a million other soldiers sing the same old song. Lights are low since you went away. I miss you all through the day. My buddy, your buddy misses you. I long to see the smile on your face. I long to know that you understand. My buddy, your buddy misses you.
You got to make the best of life.
Yeah? Yes, you don't seem to have any trouble with that.
Well, this is what I feel I'm still on earth for now, is to make people laugh and bring joy to people. Because there's a lot of things that kick you in the kimono.
What do I get somebody that's 100 years old for a birthday?
Oh, nothing. Just happiness.
Happiness?
Yeah, just happy greetings.
There's too many people that go around moaning and groaning about life and what's happened to them, and you gotta go on. You gotta pick up your boots and smile.
Here you've lived on the planet Earth for 100 years, coming up in August. What advice would you give to young people now about the way to live their life?
Well, I think seniors have to laugh because we know we're getting to the end of our rope, and we thank God every morning that it's not today.
I think you should get a good education so you can get a good job and live comfortably.
I always say if God wants me, he's got to come and get me. I'm not going to volunteer.
Why is it important to have a good job?
Well, then you can take care of yourself.
The couple that were sitting at breakfast, and she said, just think we were married 50 years ago today. And he said, that's right. And she said, well, things were different 50 years ago. He said, how's that? And she said, well, we were sitting at the table naked. And he said, oh, that's right. She said, why don't we do that now? So they took off their clothes and they're sitting there, and she said, oh, I just feel so warm and fuzzy all over. And he said, no wonder you got one in your oatmeal and the other in the coffee. You grow old because you stop laughing. You don't stop laughing because you grow old.
Yes, it's pretty simple.
It's pretty simple.
It really is.
And that's how I sum it all up.